Good morning. You're tuned into Ask Profit on NDTV Profit. I'm Smriti Chaudhary and with me is Alex Mathew. And this show is all about your stock-related queries. Be it a short-term query or a long-term investment, do write to us your queries and we'll get them answered by a fundamental and technical guest. You can write to us on on any of our social media channels or on the WhatsApp number that's on your screen. You can also write to us on the YouTube live chat and we'll pick your questions from there as well. But before that, let's take a quick check at the markets. We have the Nifty and the benchmarks open at records high today. The Nifty is trading about 0.3% higher as we speak. Among the contributors, if you look at the Nifty 50 contributors, you have the likes of Infosys that's contributing about 22 points. Then there's ICICI Bank as well. On the losing end, we have RIL. There's some profit booking there happening there. There's NTPC as well. That's also a drag today. Let's look at how the sectors are doing. A bit of a mixed bag in terms of sectors. You have the Nifty IT that's gaining over 1% in trade. Then you have the Nifty Metals that's doing very well in trade, over 2% up. Then there's Nifty Realty also up over 1%. On the other end, we have sectors like Nifty Auto that are down about 0.25%, so not doing too well today. Then there's Nifty Energy and FMCG also dragging as well. Let's also look at some of the specific stock actions. You have the likes of Anand Rathi and Nuvama and that are doing quite well today in trade. Now this comes on the back of Jefferies' note where they say how they're positive on this specific sector. We're seeing mutual fund schemes and demat account opening. So that might be a sort of a growth trigger for these companies. Then there is Ajmera Realty, and that's also the focus for today as well. It's up about 4% on the back of the business update. So good numbers there. Then there's Gland Pharma that's down about 3.5% on the back of bulk deal that has happened. So Alex,
in fact, let's focus in on the Realty pack, Smriti. That is what is on Ask Profit Focus today. And we've got solid numbers coming through from Godrej Properties, which is also up and about, and Ajmera Realty. The Realty pack, the second biggest gainer in trade today. But let's go across to Anushi first to understand what about these business updates stood out. Anushi, what can you tell us?
Right, Alex. So if you look at Godrej Properties and Ajmera, both have reported some strong set of numbers over here. I'll come across with start off with Godrej Properties first. So the company has sold homes about 9,500 crore in Q4, registering about a 135% growth. While if you look at the overall FY24 picture, about 84% an uptick in its bookings, crossing the 22,500 mark, which is higher than its revised guidance of about 20,000 crore. Now the company also, if you look at the initial guidance it has given in the beginning of FY24, it is 61% higher than that mark comparatively. This is on the back of the company's entries into the NCR region, and the MMR region continues to remain the focal points, wherein they have 4 of their projects have clocked in about a 2,000 crore of booking value growth over here. And this is again boosted by some key projects like the Godrej Zenith and the other Godrej numbers. Now coming to Ajmera Realty over here, the sales value has gone about 104% up over here, while the collections has also surged about 91% in the Q4. Well, if you look at the overall FY24 picture, the sales value has gone about 21% up at rupees 1,000 crore, which is in line with its guidance given of about 1,000 crore. Collections has more or less remained in a similar range at about 561 crore compared to 530 crore in the previous fiscal. Now do note that Ajmera main presence is in Bangalore and the MMR regions, with MMR being the focal region for the company over here, and it is in the premium and the luxury and to mid luxury segments for the company.
Got it. All right. Thanks so much, Anushi, for breaking those down for us. We've got Rohan Mehta, who's the founder of Turtle Wealth, joining in. Swati Hotkar, who's a senior equity technical analyst at Nirmal Bang. Thank you so much to the both of you for taking the time. Rohan, I'll come to you first on the Realty pack. We've seen consistent business updates over the course of the last couple of quarters at the very least from these companies, and it certainly stands out in the case of Godrej Properties certainly. How do you look at these stocks, and would you be a buyer at these levels?
Yeah, so overall, if you see real estate pack, we had seen a pause in it, and then again we are seeing good numbers posting. It could be Godrej Properties, it could be Ajmera Reality for sale. But I still feel that the valuations are like pretty stretched. Like Godrej to go forward for still a 70-80 times of forward earnings are something which I would not be very comfortable to pay for sure. So on that point, we're looking forward for which are the companies which are available at decent valuation. But of course, Godrej Property is not one of them.
All right. So we've just gotten an update on the weather, on the forecast for the monsoons this year, and SkyMet has come out with its projection and said that it is going to be a normal monsoon in all probability. And in fact, we've got Mr. GP Sharma from the SkyMet joining in on the phone line. Mr. Sharma, thank you so much for taking the time. Can you give us the initial lowdown on what is expected for the monsoon this year? When is it expected to set in? And why are we saying that it's likely to be normal?
Thanks, Alex. You see, we had given the initial indicators for this year's monsoon even on 12th of January, early in the season, and we said that it's expected to be normal. And we are retaining almost a similar forecast. And we did say that it's for the better side of the normal. Normal range consists of 96 to 104%. 8% is a very large figure, okay? But then 102% out of that, it means it's a very decent normal also, okay? So we expect the rainfall to be good, a decent monsoon, but it will not be without the hiccups to start with, because El Nino conditions are still there. They are likely to remain through the monsoon season also as such. But El Nino, definitely it will slow down, it will melt down, giving way for La Nina after we reach about 3 to 4 weeks of the monsoon season as such. But then the beginning of the season of monsoon, which we take as 1st June, El Nino condition will be just on the verge of dilution at that time. So therefore, June may not have may not start with a bang as such, which we normally expect also at the time of monsoon. But then overall, it will catch up later. What we bother more about is the 4 monsoon months, that is July and August. They appear to be okay. Particularly July, the rainiest month of the monsoon, that should be the best of all these things also during the season. So overall, we can expect a good monsoon. Okay, as far as you said, the onset of monsoon, that will come out a little later, right, because it is too early for to commit anything on the onset date of the monsoon. Yeah. A normal date, we know on the mainland is 1st June, but then the Bay Islands, some other parts, it's anytime between 15th of May to 20th of May is the date. But right, we are still work out on that we share with you as and when the things are ready. Right. That should be only towards sometime around first half of May.
Mr. GP Sharma, any indications about the spatial distribution? Because if we're talking about an overall normal monsoon, I think if I remember correctly, there were a little issues in a few pockets, particularly in the last season, where some areas got significantly deficient rainfall. Is there any early indication that you have about the spatial distribution?
Yes. We have prepared that also. We have put up on our website also in the form of a presentation that how is it going to be month-wise also, over complete season also, to put it together, the complete season JJAS, the southern parts, western parts, and the northwestern parts. They should see very good rains, better rains. Particularly the drought-prone area which we find in terms of the core monsoon zone, regions of Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh, which are largely rain-fed, they should be having adequate rains. There should not be any scare this year as such. But then a little concern is towards the eastern parts of the country. That's basically Bihar, West Bengal and Orissa region. Also along with that, northeastern states, Assam, Arunachal, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, they are the little grey areas where the monsoon may not perform at par of normal. But then those areas, they rain very heavily. Even if there is a deficiency, I think it doesn't matter much. But then those are the pockets where it is going to be a little less than the normal rainfall. inclusive of, I said, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, and adjoining West Bengal region plus northeastern parts. Yes.
Got it. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Sharma, for taking the time and for speaking to us and giving us that update. I'm sure we'll touch base with you once you have a clearer picture, once the onset is known and all of that. But it's positive news. It's likely to be a normal monsoon, and La Nina conditions could play through, as Mr. Sharma pointed out, as we head into the monsoon season. Let's head back to the queries on Ask Profit then, and we've got quite a few come through. We've got a couple on Vedanta. In fact, we've got both Dhruv and we've got one more viewer that is asking about Vedanta Limited. There isn't really a time frame that is being spoken about. In fact, Dhruv has talked about a short-term query. But since both of them are asking, let me take first to Rohan on the fundamentals. Vedanta, the overhang on the debt front is not something that is out of the way, but if that gets resolved, would you be positive on it?
Yeah, I think so. It's still a longer picture to see and then come for a decision, because there are a lot of structural changes which are happening, and then we would look forward for it. It's a decent valuation, but still a lot of uncertainty, so wait and watch.
Why don't we also take a short-term query on the technicals? Swati, how does it look on the charts? It's up 3% today.
Yes, Vedanta is really doing very well on the technical front. If you look the larger degree on the monthly chart, the stock is trading in the formation of the higher tops, higher bottom. And interesting fact that it is as of now trading nearby at an all-time high level, and I believe that this rally is likely to be extended up to at least 400 levels. So long positions can be held on at the current market price also. Anyone can maintain the long positions by keeping the stop loss of 300. 300 can be act as a crucial support levels provided by its falling the band supports. So that can be act as a profit stop losses and carry your long positions for a target of 400 levels.
All right. Good morning, Rohan and Swati. The next question is from Sumit, and this one's on BSE. He bought the shares at 803 a piece. Now, Rohan, and this is from a longer term perspective, they can hold for a year or so. And Rohan, I remember you mentioning that this was the best performing stock of last year. It has gained 500% in 1 year itself. But would you say that, okay, the specific question here is, should they book partial profits in the stock, and or should they continue holding on to it?
See, it depends on the investor to the point. See, there are a lot of structural changes which is happening on the derivative side on BSE, and the escalation is still a lot to happen, and I'm sure a lot of things have also been discounted. So I think so it's a very good point, because you entered at 800 rupees today. There's a good price. You can take a bit pie of it out of it, and you can book a profit to it and look forward for now companies where the value is much more higher than the price. So taking out of a bit of 20% of profit would not be a bad idea.
All right. There's the next question that we're taking is from Lavish, and Lavish is writing in from Indore. He's asking about Jamna Auto, which he's been holding since February, but he's saying that the stock is not able to cross 140. Let's look at where it's trading. It's just shy of that mark. In fact, 137, 36 or thereabouts. His holding price is also at that level, and so he's wondering whether or not this is a stock that he should hold for the next 6 months. Swati, on the charts, how does it look? Should he hold on?
No wonder he has rightly pointed out that this particular counter is facing a very strong resistance of 142 since 2022. So as of now, it is facing a very cluster resistance level, but looking towards the technical setups on the monthly chart patterns, the volumes are really increasing along with the price momentum. So whenever such kind of setup is forming, I believe that probably over this year only we will see a good breakout, and the upside rally can be extended towards 200 levels to 240 levels. So I will suggest to hold on. If possible, maintain the strict stop loss of 120, take a risk of these points, and you can carry your long positions. Over a period of time, we might get to see the breakouts levels, and the stock may continue its rally towards 200 to 240 levels.
All right. Rohan and Swati, stick with us. It's time for a short break, but we'll take more questions on the other side. Welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit on NDTV. Profit, let's dive into the queries again. This one from Sri Kishore Sharma from Bihar. And the counter we're talking about is CDSL. Now, they've bought 335 shares at 1,241. This is from a longer term perspective. And they want to know if they should buy more shares at the current price. And this from a 3-year perspective, Rohan. CDSL has done fairly well in the last 1 year itself. But what kind of upside do you see from here on? And would you suggest buying at the current levels?
Yeah, I think so. It's a very decent buy. It has done a very good consolidation, and this quarter numbers also would be much more better than the last number. It is a good buy. It's an accumulation zone, and we look forward for a lot of depository services which are going to happen from your units of AIFs to insurances to a lot of stuff. And we all know that what is the penetration ratio which we still believe in India. So it's a good point. Should be accumulated.
The next question is from Mansi, and there are a few stocks that she's looking at and whether or not it's the right time to invest in. Rohan, you don't need to comment on all of them, but then if they stand out to you, please do let us know what you think. 361, there is Paras Defense and Likhita Infrastructure. Which of these would you pick?
Any of them.
Okay, so then in the spaces that they play, would you suggest an alternative and why?
In different spaces?
In any of these places, if you're talking about infrastructure, if you're talking about defense.
Yeah. So the one which we have in our fund, which I think so, it's L&T is one of the place which has a lot of it's like a diversified of infrastructure, and we like government company called BEML, which also has a lot of infrastructure and defense play to it. Two recommendations from our side.
All right. Next up, we have a question from Bama from Bangalore, and this is on Yes Bank. Now, they say they hold 5,000 shares at 26. Swati, would you suggest holding on to this counter?
Yes, definitely. Yes, Bank has not yet participated in this rally, whatever we have seen the Bank Nifty rally. Now it will be a turn for PSU banks which might get into the participation on the bull side. On the technical front, as of now, we are seeing that this particular counter is forming a very strong support of 23 to 24 levels on the downside. So by keeping that stop loss, he can hold the profits, because I believe that very soon we might get a breakout of 26 levels, and upside rally can be extended up to 29 to 30 levels. So it's a hold from my end.
Okay. A number of questions coming in from Hemant, and Hemant is writing about NHPC, which he's holding at an average price of 90 rupees. And he's also wondering about IRFC and Wipro. Now, Swati, I don't want you to talk about all of them, but if any of these stand out, and particularly on NHPC, what is the advice that you would give?
See, on the NHPC, we are witnessing that the stock has got stuck within the range of 85 to 95 levels. As long as it doesn't give any breakout on the either side, the direction will not be clear. The trend will not be clear. But definitely, the stock doesn't show any kind of a reversal on a down end. But he can hold the position by maintaining a stop loss of 87 rupees on a downside. Upside breakout can be seen only if it's manages to give a breakout of 98 levels, which we can see in the month of the February also. It has tried to attempt to give a breakout, but we have seen the false breakout. Once it's managed to give a breakout of 98, the upside doors gets open for at least 115 to 120 levels. So it's a hold from my end by maintaining a strict stop loss of 87 levels.
All right. Next counter we're talking about is GMR Infra. This one's from Vinod from Chennai. They bought close to the current levels, and this is from a shorter term perspective from 3 to 4 months. Now, Swati, the stock hasn't been doing too much in the last 1 month, but has given 96% returns in the last 1 year itself. Is there more upside in the next 3 to 4 months?
Yes, because if we look on the larger degree on the monthly chart, the stock has given a very good returns. From the year of 22, we have seen at this stage rally from almost 40 to 85 levels. So we got a double rally as such. But on the technical front, for a shorter term view, definitely the stock has got stuck within the range of 87 to 82 levels. After such kind of a rally, a profit booking cannot be denied at such on the higher side. So as of now, we are witnessing a sideways momentum. But the overall technical setup and the trend is definitely positive. The particular person can hold this particular counter on a high side. The immediate short-term upside can be seen up to at least 94 to 100 levels. So once it's managed to give a breakout of a 94, 100 levels can be seen. So if you're looking for a long-term horizon, definitely one can hold the long positions. And for a short-term purpose, he can keep a stop loss of 82 and carry the long positions.
The next is an interesting question, I think, because Aniket from Kolkata has bought REC at levels of 120 and he's wondering what his perspective should be for the long term. The stock has given multi-bagger returns for him. Rohan, some people might be a little uncomfortable with the valuations as they stand right now. So from that perspective, would you take some money off the table? We've got a viewer, Aniket, who's in no hurry. He's looking at creating long-term wealth. So what should he do?
In specific in the question of REC, I don't think so that money should be taken out of table. Still available at 10 times below earning, and still a lot of steam is there. Also, we don't forget that these are all now multi-year stocks, right? So multi-year stocks can go to any level of the time. They had seen an exile of 14 years of non-performance where their profits were nearly about 7x more higher than the price they were. And now just the starting has happened. They've taken a cool off for 1-2 months, and that's a very important thing. So it's the time if we get a new all-time high, I think, and a better numbers in this quarter, it can be added more, but taking profit out of the table for a long-term investment is not recommended.
All right, fair point. Next up, we have a question from Balaji from Hyderabad. The question's on Britannia. Now, Swati, is this the right time to buy Britannia from a technical standpoint?
See, Britannia, I will not suggest to take a fresh buy call at the current market price because 2022-23 was very good for this particular counter. But after the end of the 23, we are witnessing a profit booking in this particular stocks. I believe the fresh positions can be added once the stocks takes a support of a 4,500 to 4,400. That will be a very good levels to take a fresh buy call because risk reward ratio will be a favorable at that momentum. I will suggest to wait and hold. Let the stock take a support of 45 to 4,300 level. Within that span of 200 rupees, one can take a buy call. Upside momentum as of now we can witness only above 5,000 levels. Once the manages to give the breakout of that level, then positive momentum rally can be seen. But till the time, my view is little bit cautious on this particular counter.
Okay, yeah, right. Hudko is the next counter. I'm coming back to you, Swati, on this one because we've got Prasanna Raj from Puducherry, I must say, who's bought at levels of 42 and has sold for 200 rupees. He's asking if he can buy again or should he leave it?
No, definitely, Woodco is really doing very well on the technical front. On a weekly and the monthly chart, the stock has given the flat pattern breakout, and in the month of the February itself, the stock was trading in the pattern of high top, high bottom. Since the stock is trading above the profits level, he has booked at around 200 levels. I will suggest to wait and hold. Let the stock come down by at least between the range of a 170 to 180 so that he can take a fresh buy positions. By maintaining a strict stop loss of a 150 and upside we can see at least 240 to 250 levels of the high side.
All right, fair point. Next up, we have a question from Ramesh from Chennai. They're talking about escorts. Now, this from a longer term perspective, Rohan, now considering the third quarter results were nothing but disappointing for this counter, do you see that changing from here on?
See, it's now a very, very competitive space, right? So Mahindra and a lot of stuff they are doing exceptionally well. I think so. It's a good stock. Let us see the numbers, what has happened, because it has been a lackluster into auto where the whole quarter, a lot of auto companies have done brilliant, right? So on that level, I believe that let's wait for this quarter number and then come to a point. As of now, it's a pause on a decision.
All right. Some of you are giving me feedback on what clothes I'm wearing. Thank you so much for that on the WhatsApp number. I'd also like to thank Rohan as well as Swati for joining in and giving all the answers that you did give today. It's the end of this particular program and it's been an absolute pleasure bringing it to you from Smriti and myself and the team that put this show together. Thank you so much for watching. Do stay tuned. Lots more coming up on NDTV Profit.
Another day, another high for benchmarks. Yesterday's momentum sustains. Sensex breaches 75,000. Meanwhile, the Nifty trades above the 22,700 mark. Green across sectors. Financials and realty lead gains. Meanwhile, FMCG, media and pharma trade with marginal cuts. Gold gets brighter, hits another life high. The yellow metal continues its record run, surpassing 71,100 mark in trade. And property developer Godrej Properties jumps as much as 6% after the company beats its FY24 guidance, reports highest ever quarterly home sales in Mumbai. And block deal push for Axis Bank. Stock gains as Bain Capital sells the entire stake via block deal. Floor price expected to be between the 1,071 to 1,076 kind of band. Hello and welcome to Hot Money. I'm Harsh Saita, taking a quick check on where markets are at. You're continuing to see markets flirt with life highs. You're at the 22,750 kind of mark on the Nifty 50, just about 15 points odd away from the life high that it has clocked earlier today. Let's also look at where the Nifty Bank is doing, because that one also very close to that 49,000 mark, and again trading very close to their life highs. Now I'm looking at some of the broader market plays. Let's look at where the Nifty mid cap and small cap is at, largely in line with the Nifty 50 index, 1/3% higher on the mid cap, around 0.5% higher or so on the small cap as well. So you're seeing those trend pretty much in line with where the Nifty 50 is at. Now with regard to the Nifty constituents itself, yesterday Reliance clearly led the gains on the Nifty 50. Today it is ICICI Bank, slight bit of cool off on Reliance. Mind you, it's a heavyweight, so even a 0.5% leads to a 10-point delta on the Nifty 50. But look at ICICI Bank leading the gains, 2.2% higher in trade today. You're seeing it contribute roughly 40 points to the Nifty. Outside of that, there's Infosys as well, which is contributing roughly 23 odd points to the Nifty 50. So those two really carrying the Nifty benchmark higher, 60 points contributed by those two stocks alone. But outside of that, in the sectoral universe, if we could quickly pull up sectors before we take it to specific stocks. There you go. The Nifty Metal up 2%, Nifty Realty up 1.1%, Nifty FMCG a key laggard today, outside of auto, which has now cooled off in terms of its losses, which it had clocked around 0.25% lower just about an hour back, now absolutely flat. So we're seeing a bit of churn among some of those losers in terms of the pack, but FMCG currently the rank underperformer, 0.33% lower, and followed by pharma. So some of the defensives taking a hit, but IT surprisingly doing very well, 0.7% higher. Of course, TCS earnings starting end of this week, so plenty to look forward to. But let me first take it across to all the stocks that are in focus. Let's pull up something like a Godrej Properties. That one is in focus, obviously on the back of the numbers. Very, very strong set of numbers delivered by them for Q4. These are, of course, the stocks that we will be focusing on today. Gland Pharma, TRIL, Exide, Sula Vineyards, JSW Energy. TRIL and Exide both were buzzing in trade yesterday as well. These are pretty much stocks. Even JSW Energy, for on that count, has seen a bit of traction in recent weeks. But let me call on our guest, bring on board Sharmila Joshi. Welcome Sharmila to NDTV Profit once again. It's a pleasure having you here.
Hello and greetings to all. I think a number of festivals are being celebrated across the nation. So greetings to all.
Wish you the same. Wish you a very happy Gudi Padwa. Let me, though, take it quickly to the first stock. Sharmila, we have Godrej Properties. That one is in focus on the back of a stellar Q4 business update. Let me first bring in Anushi to try and break down the numbers for our viewers before taking Sharmila's view on this one. Anushi, take it away.
Right, Harsh. So if you look at Godrej Properties, let me just dissect it into two parts. That is the Q4 and the FY24 numbers. Now, if you look at the Q4 numbers, the company has sold homes about 9,500 crore, which shows about a 135% growth, while its FY24 bookings saw about an 84% growth at rupees 22,500 crore, which is higher than its guidance given of about 20,000 crore. Now, do note that initially, at the beginning of FY24, the guidance that the company had given, it has clocked in more than 61% of growth comparatively on this figure. Now, this also marks company's highest ever quarterly sales for the Mumbai metropolitan region. But just to get a quick check on what has worked out for Q4, two of their projects, which is Godrej Zenith in the NCR region, that had clocked in a booking value of about 3,000 crore, while Godrej Reserve in the MMR region clocked in about 2,690 crore of a booking value, which has supported the kind of growth numbers that we are seeing in its Q4. While if you have to look at the overall FY24 numbers, 4 projects have exceeded the 2,000 crore mark, making this a stellar quarter as well as the stellar fiscal for the business in general. So Godrej Properties is robust because of the kind of guidance it has given and how it has exceeded over it.
Okay, so Anushi, bringing in that perspective, thank you for that. Sharmila, just to try to break this one down, real estate has been doing extraordinarily well. It's been a multi-bagger on the sectoral index over the last 12 months. Very similar kind of returns clocked in by Godrej Properties. And, you know, with each passing update, the numbers just look strong.